Welcome everyone to more live open source stuff here. Hopefully now something more successful and satisfying. ADA support, programming language, and Dr. Schubert has already done some work of our T2 contributors and also sent me Gnad. So Ada, how do you even pronounce this in English? Ada? Probably. In Germany we say Ada. I think that's actually a good question. Anyway. A safer language than C and stuff, long before there was Rust. And I wonder whether we should support this in T2 by default. The benefit would be that people have it, and especially because it's similar to Rust, GCC support written in ADA, so we need that to bootstrap that. And do we have that? Yeah, so I download this Dr. Schubert. So basically you can use another Linux distribution or whatever, but Dr. Schubert sent me the GNU ADA Gnad bootstrap some months ago. Actually, just remember, probably should make some good use out of that. And I wonder, I've not tested this, I've only installed that now. So I have here now Gnad in from Dr. Schubert, our contributor in T2 build up Gnad bootstrap. Again, similar to Rust, once you need a freaking compiler, it's yeah, somehow it is what it is. I understand, so that they don't want to write their compiler in C though. But anyway, so this is part of GCC, just that if you enable language ADA, you need an ADA compiler. And so that is here, languages ADA. And first of all, I wonder whether it's cross-compiled. So that would be, yeah, and the only thing is, so if, what do you have here? If not toolchain, what do we have here? Yada yada, something languages. I wonder, so I probably want to change that a little bit. So I've seen that, and this is not very T2 style. I highly appreciate Dr. Schubert's work. Just that, of course, people especially have different style and opinion and stuff. In my opinion, this would be, because this is like, it's hidden state, meaning you get ADA if you have ADA. That's a little bit unintuitive, but I understand he wanted to make this just work and not error prone for people. The thing is, if we just enable ADA, then it fails for everyone who had Rock Linux and T2 for decades, because they don't have ADA around. I'm also not sure how to proceed with this here. I only know that this is not how we would normally want that. Maybe it is a better choice to make this an option, or, I mean, because the other languages are probably all written in C, that is why we can always cross-compile them. So if all, I think there should be a config option that might either default to on and you need to, or maybe default to off. Nah, not sure. Or default to whether you have Gnad installed. Anyway, so this is Gnad supports implement ADA, so Gnad only present build system be able to build it. So I only wonder. So I need to check my drop points. Also, by the way, I live stream over LTE, Vodafone failing docs, this stuff so broken in Berlin, right? I gave up for today. So it's a stream frames brought to you by freaking O2 LTE. So because this is in the toolchain, by the way, I live stream this because all of this stuff is work, right? It takes time and you need to sync. So this is, if not toolchain, and I slightly wonder why would, I think this should not be in toolchain because, actually I misspoke. I think this should not be in the not at toolchain conditional, because what this means is I think we probably would want to bootstrap a fresh version of ADA for all things similar to that. So at least that is what I think we would want. So we probably, I would move that out of here and basically, if not toolchain, where? Oh, wait a second. Or do we want? Actually, we don't toolchain. So toolchain would mean we only have. What do we have in the other language? C and C++, I would guess. Languages. Where would that even be? Yeah, or for some BArch, we need to remove. Why do we have that here though? Why did I add that there? Ah, yeah, there is C++. So default is C and C++. I only wonder if we not should also... I think I would try to bootstrap ADA. Let's see if that works, to have a fresh bootstrap version. Because you could have like a last year's ADA version of like, not that there would be probably too much development. But I still... yeah, let's see if it works at all anyway. And let's see what happens. And I think we make this a config option, maybe later this live stream. So, because here we remove unsupported stuff, why do we have... Was it specifically failing? Must have been a reason why this, for some strange reason, was strangely failing, apparently. Anyway, let's... I mean, we can try two things. The first thing would be, let's build this Bootstrap. Let's see what happens with ADA for 0 GCC, and probably also, although should we, maybe first we wait, ah darn, we don't want this verbose, why do we? Don't need the matrix right now, cheers. And then we finally shipped T2. This was just basically the last thing on the back of my head that I had actually, when Dr. Schubert made this early enablement work, actually to check whether that worked, and we can ship that. Let's change already config RISC-V. So that is epic thread ripping, right, with Ryzen 1550X. That should be relatively fast. And parallel max 32.2. And let's peek into the log file while we wait for that and see if ADA is in there. Var adm log 0 gcc. Yeah, so now that is indeed in there. Compiler driver understands ADA, so far so good. Okay, that does something. I would maybe we actually prepare user time. As usual, don't procrastinate, but you do something useful. Oops. Where would we have options? Actually, oh, wait a second. Theoretically, do we need an ADA wrapper then? Questions over questions. So here is if package check GCC GNU compiler options, and I would say make this bool enable GNAT. We maybe check the capitalization. Is that all caps or GNAT Studio, GNAT Pro, free? ADA, okay. Does it call this driver or? Nothing like spam to hide, report, unwanted content, spam. Do they call this driver or GNU new what ADA translator? Let's maybe make that so, because why not the ADA is in there. And so here we could conditionalize that to which GNAT. So the only thing is so that is 0. Okay, we need a textural 0. That is partially annoying, I guess. Oh darn, why is there more of this stuff? Report, unwanted. Why does this not, oh wait, nothing like some good YouTube spam. Actually, we could simply make that a variable. Do we have while read something package chunk? Yeah, here's a fence. Hey, that even worked. So that means we should have gnat there build x86. That should be no in toolchain. Do we not get a? Ah, right. This is because it has probably. Oh, wait a second. This is a cross compiler. Yeah. So that has x86 gnat. I only wonder whether do we have provisioning. So far, so good. I slightly wonder whether we need to define some. Did Dr. Super do that? Whether we need some variables exported and enable if present. Do we have improved pass wrapper flex like gnat? Okay, maybe. Okay, that is that one. Okay, let's then do the same for RISC-V and see if we can. I mean, I wonder if someone ever. Are we as usual the first ones to do that for RISC-V, or will it actually work? Could error out. We will see. So this config option. So let's maybe make it 1 for now. Actually, you know what? Let's test this instantly. Enable gnat. Right, we need a config name. SD config package gcc gnat, I would say. Variable name there, and gnat, then instead of this here, if that is 1, do we usually escape? Maybe we better escape that. That is certainly the safest thing to do if someone didn't run the config. ADA support is implemented in ADA, so gnat has present, shorter. And so I would make this something like that. Let's rerun this config. That should be, what is it, RISC-V. I hope it's all glibc prefix, postfix. So the config option should be default. So let's see. It's only visible. You would need to toggle the expert options here. Gnat also best without typo. RISC-V config. Gnat. Okay, so far so good. Let's see what happens while we refine this config thing here. I'm not. Oh, wait a second. This is wrong. So I wonder if we can have local variables. Maybe not. How do we best do that here? Okay, that is building. I wonder, so I wish shell would allow like local variable here, but they only, for stupid reasons, allow this functions. So we can't do that. So what do we usually use for temp variables here? Don't really want to clutter variable scoping. There were some global variables. Maybe we should actually honestly simply use something like that, or is it too cryptic? Do we have this still selected? No, of course we didn't. reach gnat. So I wish we could, is there a short form? Probably not. I mean, or wait a second, can we simply use that? Maybe we could actually use that though. Oh no, we can't. Oh, what? Yeah, okay, we need to. So we would need to, this is also not the nicest, to invert that. So much time thinking how to hack shell stuff the most unreadable way. Ah, but this is, why did this previously? So we would basically need to invert that. That is a little bit inconvenient. Is there a short form for that stuff I rally? Ah, cool. That even freaking built. Risk 5, 64. Find. There we have a risk 5, 64. T2 links gnat. Amazing stuff. Let's see if that. The only thing is. So how was it? We partially rebuilt that and we had this super crazy setup. Maybe. I need to reread what we had done for the Bootstrap stage. What we could do probably is, wait a second, does that allow? Okay, that. This is also, no, that is not helpful, that exponent to -1. That is not helpful. What would be the best? Yeah, the Boolean variable. Other people Stack Overflowed that. So tell me the most clever answer. Ah, wait a second. Is it as simple as that? So that is one. Sometimes it is so simple. Huh? There we have it. Bool, all this fun stuff, and this inverted. Huh? Beauty? Could there be any that is execute? Is there any? No, this is good enough. Yeah, so that probably should do that. Of course, after 20 years of shell scripting. I mean, to be fair, I never needed that before. It's only trying to keep the most simple. Let's review what our bootstrapping stuff did in GCC for this crazy Canadian cross stuff. So how did we had here some extreme crazy setup here, stage level 1. What did we do here? we did all this prefix stance, GCC include. Where did we install that? Tools root. Do we override? Do we have transform? Does it, maybe it defaults to that? I slightly wonder whether we override that. So would that, so we built, so we built a, what do we build? We built a cross-compiler. Would we need, I mean, realistically, we don't really need, maybe we cannot in that very first step, maybe we after all move that, if not a toolchain where it was, so all these additional languages here. Oh, wait a second, we can even use the short form here. If that is one and all support is by an so cannot has to be present, and maybe even move that to the top, that we have this stuff shared, not shared. Then that what is that? Append. So the only other thing is whether we need to not do that for some architectures probably. So probably first ADA and then the other stuff here. Especially if we either want to remove that or conditionally add that. Oops. So that really built. To my surprise, so Canadian cross, let's see if that also builds or if that or architecture combinations, and see what break there. And I do this now so that the question is, I mean, as per often, a little bit philosophical thing, chicken and eggs, and whether it makes sense to us to ship this. And I think as long as it builds and is easily available, I will ship it, because otherwise, if someone would want to work with ADA for some one reason or another, they wouldn't easily have it in T2, and especially from the point with cross-compiling facilities of T2 to have that available. And so as I said, as long as it's easily just freaking builds TM, I think I'm shipping that. Let's see what happens here in the next minutes of breaking it and stuff. So that people just have it. I think as long as it's like hopefully next to zero overhead for me. And that's also why I do this now. So it's all the work over the winter, all the excessive, even more cross-compiling, adding ADA here, and then have it now, as long as we build all those gazillions of exotic, vintage, and retro architectures, to have it there for you to play along at home. While you hard think I'm doing a word hunter, and so happy you enjoy this. So yeah, I guess we can then really release T2 soon. Was there anything else? There's always something. So Rust, I wonder if we probably should test that for Spark 64. That would be 0 GCC. Let's just rebuild that. Surprised that it builds so long, so that would be risk 5. Oh, wait a second, do we? 5 jobs. Let's cancel that and Ref, why do I have that there? Why do I have that there? What is Spark? That was parallel. And do that again. So, looks what is going on here with our gun. Still building. I'm surprised it. Okay, it automatically adds this host triplet for cross-compiling, so it is automatically just there. So yeah, so also you confirmed we obviously need that, right? It's Canadian cross, so you need a cross-compiler, you need an other cross-compiler to Canadian cross-compile. So far it looks like it apparently, well, knock on wood, plywood, it looks like it really builds libgnut. Yeah. There you have it. Probably not the first to cross-compile that for embedded project, maybe space stuff, Spark and satellites and rockets and stuff. So yeah, that is amazing. Of course, amazing preparation of Dr. Schubert there, making that available and sharing this now, making GNAT available cross-compiled for all the architectures. Oh, wait a second, we probably need to check that Spark. Did this regenerate the config? Maybe not. Oh no, it did regen. So, wait a second, Stack Pro. I think this is old-fashioned garbage. Good that we check that. That is 15-year-old stuff. What is even here in Stack Pro? Okay, we have international. I mean, it's good preparation. We obviously. Okay, it actually does more than I thought it would, but this needs modernization. What is even the default for that? Okay, that is off. We, in the future, wanna up that. Let's actually put that on the to-do. Of harden as stack smashing protector friends. Options and defaults. Okay, that even built. That was Spark. Alright, so that should be unaffected. We just removed that from toolchain again. That's the building. Yeah, build time, of course, it again increases the build time, right? Nothing, at least something to warm the office with. Oh, a couple of drop frames. O2, LTE, hello. So GCC there, GCC there. Okay, so that Canadian cross-compiled, amazing stuff. So I think we commit that tiny little cleanup, or yeah, I guess we can call that a cleanup. Improved GCC GNAT ADA support by wiring an SD config. It default to weather. That was a correct spelling, right? What? No, not weather. Or maybe weather. Good that we check the spelling. 99 option. Proof GCC GNAT ADA support by wiring it to SD config option and let it default to weather. Is in bootstrapping. And in the next ISOs it will be, apparently, if this, okay, will be, except if it doesn't build. What's going on here? Error, problem compiling FC. What does it mean? Is that GNOT or not? I have no idea. Maybe I check. Yeah, so we will see with the next. Also, wait. What kind of call was that? Maybe we check PowerPC. Oh, you know what? Config PowerPC. I mean, I will notice it's partially pointless. It's mostly because we are live streaming. Let's see if that builds PowerPC 64LE. And so what was that? RISC-V, right, this was that one. And we want the PS3 config of one GCC of PowerPC 6432. 32-bit default for obviously performance and memory and stuff. But if this stuff fails too strangely, I will just disable architectures. No point of wasting too much time there. Now, what is with LibreOffice? All right. If this doesn't build, then it's pointless anyway, this massive package. So that would be cross-compiler. Let's see what happened there. So the 32-bit versions are special because we patched that a little bit. Previous video, January or so, or December and January. And it failed for Fortran and Objective-C or something, so I wonder whether that will work. But yeah. And then we call it a day. What did I say? I said 32, so that is here somewhere. We have remove. So we usually have it included, except the 32-bit defaults stuff that we mostly do for Spark. I mean, I wonder if it's still. I mean, yeah, I wonder if it's still. I mean, most people don't have the highest performance Spark. I mean, sure, these days they exist. By the way, is Spark still being developed by now, unfortunately, Oracle, or is it obsolete already, or do they still do something with that? I think there was some release some years ago. Is that discontinued, or what do we have? Their shipment introduced. So Fujitsu discontinued that on Friday around layoffs. Oracle terminated Spark design after completion of the M8. Much of the processor core development group, Austin, Texas, has been dismissed. So yeah, there is that apparently. So, Junior calls. Junior wants to go out into the sunshine as long as we have sunshine after the rain. So, yeah, so there is that. So many architectures, I already lose overview. So yeah, as you heard, Junior is calling, so I need to run. If you want to support all those crazy projects of supporting all programming languages, also we have Swift and Julia and stuff. Yeah, programming languages and architectures. What is even? So that was, you can share, like, subscribe, YouTube membership, Patreon, GitHub sponsorship and stuff. That was M8, right? I wonder when. Yeah, probably someday. You probably want to share, like, and subscribe. Someday we will have faster Spark stuff when they become affordable, like a decade or something. Hey, even 5 freaking gigahertz. Anyway, so yeah, that stuff is building, still building, and then it's building surprisingly long. What did we build? PowerPC 64LE, and yeah, anyway, I guess that looks relatively good. And then don't forget to like, subscribe, and I hope to see you soon for the next ISO release. And if you have anything last minute with T2 releases and stuff, leave in the comments, drop me an email, GitHub issues and stuff. Otherwise, we'll really release a freaking set of ISOs anytime soon now. See you next time. Speaking of which, just when we end the live stream, it fails. We're probably still live. Build, so which one was it? This, okay, this was expected. Maybe someday I debug what is going on there with these additional languages, but it's not my highest priority. It's good enough if it builds for everything else. This special set wouldn't. Yeah, this is similar to Spark. Internal error, what is it? Internal what? Rs call what warning? Oh, this is just, okay, this is not real error. Yeah, so whatever is going on there. Let's then wait a moment, can't be that long until we have results. But I guess for now it is fair to say we simply remove that. It was ADA, right? Was it ADA or not? It was ADA. Good. Then we test that again. I mean, the very best thing is we could wire the config option also to that, but it's a little bit much. Okay, so for PowerPC 64LE that worked. We could also test actually the 32-bit PowerPC case proper. But as with the other languages, there's whatever's going on there with this configure and our hackery. Anyway, that's it now. See you next time. And don't forget to enjoy the sun and stuff while you can.